What is up, guys? John here, coming at you for another 2-Minute Tuesday. I promise this one I'll actually make it 2 minutes. I swear, I'm really going to work on that. Okay, so for 2 minutes today, start the clock now. Spin technique, spin recovery as it pertains to your oral during your check ride. What are you going to tell the examiner about recovering from a spin? Or how could you possibly get into a spin? Well, let's just hit the key points here, right? You can't spin unless you're stalled. You got to stall before you spin. Don't stall, you won't spin. How do you recover from a spin? Popular way is PARE, P-A-R-E, power to idle, ailerons neutral, rudder opposite the direction of rotation and or step on the ball because the world's spinning around you, maybe you're disoriented, step on the ball, and elevator, briskly push forward and break the stall, then recover from the resulting dive, fly coordinated. Make sure you don't mess with ailerons, flaps, stuff like that. Not going to be helpful right then. Power to idle, don't give it power. That's going to make it tighten up on you. So, power to idle, ailerons neutral, rudder, opposite direction of rotation to stop the rotation, stop the spinning, and elevator briskly push forward, break the aerodynamic stall on the wings, get the wings flying again, then recover. That's the very popular 95% of the time it works way. But the proper check ride answer is, I'll recover the way the POH tells me to. Many POHs say standard spin characteristics or standard spin recovery techniques, in which case, yeah, PARE. PARE is what you're going to use. But some of them will specify something else, like maybe they want you to do the elevator first or something, just a slightly different order. But ultimately, all that stuff happens really all at once anyways. So when are you going to get into a spin? Often base to final being uncoordinated. It's going to be a stall, and it has to be an uncoordinated stall for the aircraft to want to spin. So you can't spin unless you stall and you're uncoordinated. Most oftentimes, base to final, skidding turns are when people get into spins. That's what you need to know for the check ride. That's what the examiner is going to ask you about. If you can give him those answers right off the top of your head like that, he'll move on and he won't drill you on it. If you give wishy-washy answers and you're like, how would I recover from a spin? I don't know. I would definitely, not stall, or I would PAIR, P-A-I-R. What's that again? That's where you get into those rabbit holes where they dig deep in, where you wind up busting an oral, busting a check ride because it's clear you don't know or you can't come up with it right on the spot. It should be automatic. Even if you can't recite it, you should be able to do the motions and then think to yourself, okay, this is what I would do, and then tell them about it. If you can't do that, try to stay out of airplanes, because ultimately one day if you fly long enough, you may find yourself in a stall or incipient spin, the initial stage of a spin, very, unexpectedly. Not that, I'm a good pilot, I would never do that. Well, things happen unexpectedly sometimes, it just, things go wrong. So if you can't do that off the top of your head and kind of chair fly the recovery from a spin right now, try to stay out of airplanes for a little bit until you can, because you're not going to have time when you are entering into that spin to start thinking back to what did that book say that I read, or what did that video that John put out say about recovering from a spin. I watched it a couple of years ago. Try to watch them, recurrently, a little more often than that, and go out and practice spins with an instructor in a certified airplane for it. That will save your life. It really will. Really important stuff. If you can't do it, if you've never done a spin before, you really shouldn't be flying on your own. All of my students, when I would sign them off for a check ride, went through spin training before they got signed off for the private pilot, so they'd actually been in one, seen it, and recovered on their own. Otherwise, if you haven't done it, it's really hard to do, especially when you only got a few hundred feet to work with and the ground's coming quick. So that's my input on it. Hopefully, we didn't stick to 2 minutes, but I really tried. This one was shorter than usual. And if you guys haven't already seen the free spin training course online at flyatmikealpha.com, go to flyatmikealpha.com right now. The link is in the description below, and take that course. It walks you through everything you need to know, or most of what you need to know, preparing for spin training and to hopefully be able to recover from a spin if you haven't had the opportunity to actually get into an aircraft with an instructor and practice it on your own. Definitely check it out. It really can save your life. Really serious about that one. As much as I joke around, that one's really important. Spins do kill people consistently year after year. It's an easy thing we could prevent with the right amount of training and with getting people proficient. Again, it's not about not being a good pilot. It's about just having never done them before, and they sneak up on you the least expected time. It may not happen to you for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Eventually, you'll probably get yourself into a situation where you really need to have that training somewhere in your back pocket. So you guys know what to do. If you can't fly every day, fly at mikealpha.com. We will see you all next time.